Buddy, and welcome back to the stream. This will be not the last stream ever. I think I'm just going to do streams on Monday though. Monday or Wednesday, I haven't decided. For now, it's going to be Mondays, mental health Mondays. And that's when I'll continue to have my Asian mental health talks based upon my cards. The first thing I want to say, that we're starting today. Actually, let me paste this. We made our goal, guys. We made the Kickstarter goal. We did it. I'm elated, and I'm excited. We made it. We made a goal. Like, holy caca. And the Kickstarter actually has 3 more days. So if you want to get my cards through the Kickstarter, and get them earlier than everyone else, then please go to the Kickstarter, get some cards, or, share the link with people. Any extra money goes towards me being able to probably order more cards in the future. Like, that's all that's happening. Because, I'm just a me. A small local business in San Diego. So, thank you, everyone. It's super exciting. And we're still going. So let's just keep going. So the affirmation that I'm using today, the Golden Goddess Affirmation I'm using today, is a long one. Here we go. The world keeps changing, creating new possibilities. Therefore, I can keep changing and become even more than I thought possible. I'm going to show you and read it one more time. Ooh, where is it? Not kind of blurry. Well, for Instagram, it's backwards, so I'm just going to go. The world keeps changing, creating new possibilities. Therefore, I can keep changing and become even more than I thought possible. So this is a lengthy affirmation because it's a big thought. It's a big idea. And it means mental health, man. It's super hard. Living with mental illness, just dealing with your mental health in general, right? Trying to even figure out, like, what is that? What is mental health? Like, what is mental health if I don't have mental illness? Like, what is poor mental health? What is good mental health? Like, it's a big journey. And again, part of the reason why I made these affirmation cards was because I wanted to fight the stigma against mental health and mental illness in Asian cultures. We don't like to talk about it. We like to talk about work. We like to talk about our careers. We'd like to talk about functioning and taking care of our family and their loved ones. And those aren't necessarily bad things, but they aren't the whole story. We need to talk about our mental health, because if we don't, it's happening anyway. So it can become poor whether or not we acknowledge it exists. Right? That's the same thing for our physical health. Lots of people just ignore signs, low physical well-being, and they're like, whatever, but it doesn't have to be that way. I believe really tending to your physical and mental health creates a happier life and a more fulfilling life and a longer life. The world keeps changing, creating new possibilities. This is just true. And this, for me, when I think about this card and me writing that, I do think about my mental health journey. I was already in a meeting and I talked about this and I didn't cry. So, not that it's not okay to cry. I just don't want to right now. Mostly because I've been sniffly the whole day and I don't want to be more sniffly. I never thought that I would make something like this, for many reasons. And I never thought that my life could be the way it is, where I feel so supported and so loved, and that I can actually do things. Like, I was just telling someone today in my meeting that, like, I'm 32 and I actually feel like arriving in my 30s now, I'm able to actually do all the things that I was supposed to do in my 20s, in terms of my career, in terms of like exploring and doing things, just because my 20s was just riddled with mental illness and me not knowing how to cope, or me having a really dark time. And not that I didn't do anything during those years, but it's just a lot of it was shrouded in confusion and self-hate and bitterness and yeah, and all that non-fun stuff where I was like driving myself insane in my head, and I was very skeptical about whether or not I actually had a grip on reality. And that was scary. So I'm not there anymore. I'm here. Therefore, I can keep changing and become even more than I thought possible. And so that's the second half, because that's how I feel now. I feel like I'm 32, I'm turning 33, but I do feel like, oh, I'm actually like open to the world now. Like I can see, not that I was ever a pessimist. I'm a realist. I'm definitely a realist. But I also can just see more. And part of that is because, you know, if you struggle with trauma, depression, anxiety, a lot of the time we're not in the present. We're stuck. Well, okay, so anxiety is kind of known for, like, you know, you're freaking out about the future, right? Or you're freaking out about the future because the past history around what's supposed to go on in the future, like, it went wrong. But you're not in the present. And then with depression and trauma, I feel like for me, really in the past, things in the past, and they're important. And I think it's important to look at your past to find out why and understand why things in your life are a certain way, or why you act a certain way, why I act a certain way. And it's all really important. But like the hard part is really not getting stuck there, especially with PTSD. The past comes to me in the present at times. I don't want it to, and that really sucks. And that still happens, and I still have my nightmares, but I'm in more of a position where, like, it's manageable. And I never thought that was going to happen. And so it's happening. It's happening now. And yeah, I'm really happy. Because that's the thing that's so hard when you have a mental illness and you're really in it. You can't see all the good things that might happen to you in the future. It doesn't feel like they might happen. It just feels like everything is closing in, or that there is no future. You're just stuck in this horrible present, or stuck in this horrible past you have. So change is possible, and it's really important, and it's not easy. Change is not easy, and learning to, again, deal with your mental health and your mental illnesses, like, that's not easy, and it's not something that's ever going to be solved like super simple, really simply. But that's okay, because it doesn't have to hold you back. Like, it doesn't have to keep you from dreaming. It doesn't have to. A lot of times it does feel that way, and that's what, it feels that way, and I get that. But I guess as someone who's doing better, whose mental illnesses are more manageable now, like, yeah, like, I can see more of how things are. And that's not like, I'm optimistic now. It's like, no, like, I've become even more of a realist. I just understand. I can see more of the realities, and sometimes that means there are bad realities, but there's also all these good realities here too. And so, like, I'm becoming more than what I thought possible, just because I would never be, I don't know, I never expected to be here. I never expected to be getting into film, never to be getting into acting, never to be getting into, like, a bunch of community and political work. And, like, that's been all beautiful and really difficult. Like it sounds really cheesy, and it sounds like really, unfortunately, like condescending sometimes, and you're like at those darkest moments of your life. But really, if you keep going, it might get better. Like I don't like promises, so I don't like saying like it will get better. It's like, no, but it can. It really can. The possibilities are there. If you keep going, things change. Like even just like things that you don't realizing are change around you that might make things different, right? Like say I'm in the world and legislation is changing about mental health stuff, and I'm making this up. This example is a made up example, but like legislation might be changing around me and making it easier, and like say the best thing happened ever and they made like therapy free for everybody, or legislation that moves towards that and gives more opportunities for therapists to do like pro bono sessions or more sliding scale sessions. You know what I mean? Like that could actually affect me, because that will change as time goes on. The more we fight against the stigma, and more people are wanting to talk about our mental health, that means more demand, right, for therapists and stuff. And then that can change. So maybe over time, and we're talking about Asian mental health. So maybe over time, there are more Asian therapists who understand what I'm going through, and I can talk to them. Like change can happen like that. I hope that was understandable to follow. Like things can change, like not just you changing things, but sometimes also outside things change that do affect your situation. That's real. It's real. Progress is real. Yeah. I don't know. I feel very reflecty right now. Just very cryy. But the world is changing, and I know it's so hard to talk about your mental health or emotions. I know it's so hard, but again, these things are changing, and there's more people. It's not just me. There's like a lot of people talking about their mental health, a lot of Asians coming out with it, a lot of BIPOC people. Simone Biles was like, yo, I'm going to take care of my mental health, like, because that's what's important. And that was like so inspiring, and those things are inspiring, and hopefully they're inspiring you. They're inspiring us to be more aware of mental health and to want to speak about our mental health, whether it's to a professional or maybe as a start to like your friend, or maybe it is like buying affirmation cards so that you can journal, or maybe it's joining like Talkspace or Headspace or different things like that. Like there are so many ways that we can approach our mental health, and a lot of them might seem new to you because of your culture, and that's okay. It's okay. Technology was new. The iPhone was new in our life, in some of our lifetimes, my lifetime. Things can really change. And I know, I just feel like I'm really cheesy, but really I do mean it. Like, hold on. Like, if you're having a hard time, like, holding on can be the hardest freaking thing in the world. And again, like, if you're having a really hard time and you hear me say this and you want to smack me, I totally understand you, because I was there. But yeah, change is possible. You making changes, the world making changes. It just, again, not saying things will get better, but they just can. The possibility is there. And I think, how do I put this? Like, a lot of people are suffering. And a lot of people don't have access to professional help, or they're not there yet at the place where they can really reach out. So it's like, well, what can we do to help people with their mental health? And all I want to say is like, be kind, kindness creates possibilities. Being supportive, being kind to people's ideas, being kind to people's words, being supportive of people, believing in them. Like, there are so many freaking animes and so many shows where it's like they say like, this person believed in me and that made all the difference. And I honestly believe in that. Like, I freaking believe in that. Like, because that has happened to me. Not even like to me directly. Like like my marching band director in high school, like he was just really intense and he expected a lot out of us, but he also believed in us and he said he was proud of us and all this like nice stuff. And it was never like directly to me, it was to the group. But like for me, like that literally was a lifeline. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, someone is proud of me. Like someone believes in me. Like that's cool. Like I'm part of like something that's like good, like that I should be proud of. Like great. Like because I didn't know how to like, I don't know. I was a kid and I was messed up. So all that meant a lot to me, even though I couldn't explain it then. And apparently I'm still having problems explaining it now. But the thing is, like, it helps. It helped. Being kind helps. Being supportive, being loving, that spreads. And the thing is that we have to realize that, you know, hate spreads too. And there are a lot of freaking haters. So if we want to kind of override that crap or at least balance it out, like really make an effort to be kind, because really, like, if that keeps changing, if we all become more kind, like think of how much better the world could be. Yeah, think of what new, if like, you know, if we were all being supportive, like I know this feels really la-di-da, but it's real. Like if we were all kind and more supportive towards each other, like we could maybe find the freaking cure for cancer. You know what cancer research labs look like? Like this is from my friend who used to intern for a bunch of them. It was like a bunch of different, there's one big lab and it was different groups working in this one big lab, all working on cancer research. And none of them would share with each other, you know, because they have investors, they have their people, like they want to be the ones to cure cancer. And she was just like so weirded out because she's like, they all have things that the other people need, but they're not going to share or talk to each other. And that's dumb because we should find a cure for cancer. But you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, kindness, sharing, supportive, like being in an abundance mindset, like that all shapes our world. Yes, 100% better if everyone was kind. Like that stuff all shapes our world. So I think it's really important to think about how kindness really can make things better and how we can keep changing as individuals and as a people. And I think that's actually where I want to stop now. Wow, that was also an emotional roller coaster of 18 minutes. Cool. Again, I'm really thankful to be here, and I'm really grateful for you guys to be tuning in, to be watching, to be supporting the cards. Like I really am grateful, and I'm also very emotional now. They do really mean a lot to me. There's still 3 more days if you want to order the cards, even though we've reached our goal, which I really am happy about. But again, like the biggest thing that I've gotten from this so far is just being able to bond with women and speak with women and other people who these cards really resonated with. And so most of all, I'm really grateful for that. So yeah, I will be back next Monday. Now I'm only doing Mondays because that 2 weeks straight of live streaming was too much for me. So I gotta, you know, get on my own mental health. My phone is also dying, so this is a good time. Again, thank you guys for joining here. The Kickstarter link is pinned. It's in the comments. If you have any questions, please just DM me at The Thoughtful Beast on Instagram. And I look forward to next Monday. Thank you guys. I'm so happy. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to try to do this at the same time. Okay, bye.